Come here, bud. Say hi. Good boy. Yes, good boy. Hello, and welcome back to another vlog. This vlog covers over 3 weeks worth of work where we were doing a lot of projects concurrently, and so it's kind of difficult to keep everything chronological, but generally speaking, we started on the woodworking, so building out the boxes that go around the wheel wells and around the external shower portion, as well as the bed frame. We also ran into a couple more leaks, which you'll hear more about later, but just wanted to jump in and let you see some of the work that we did. We'll also tell you a little bit more about this cool saw blade that we're using called a dado blade later on. So while we are waiting on the caulk to dry inside so that we can kind of reassemble everything, which shouldn't take us long, I would say maybe a day's work to put everything back together inside. We've gone ahead and started working on the wheel well boxes, so the wood boxes that go around the wheel well covers, which will be inside the cabinets but sometimes visible when you open the doors, and it's just a good opportunity for us to practice how we're planning to build the cabinets. So if you guys ever wondered like what kind of person Jared is, here's his cut list, his diagram, the dimensions for all the pieces, and we're going through and just doing mass cuts right now to get all the individual pieces ready that we need. One of the cool things that we're using right now called a dado blade, and it just kind of chips out I don't know what to call it, like a trough?
Yes, like a trough. So it replaces a we're gonna have to cut.
We're gonna cut here until we remember what that item is.
It replaces a router. It replaces a router, just kind of makes a quicker cut, like she was saying, like a trough, so that you can put so the idea is we could put basically like a 1/4 inch piece of plywood in there, so you get a final result, something like this, as semi-final result. We don't have the edges on there yet.
You can see how it just fits down in that dado to cut right there.
Right, so you can do the same thing with a router, and yes, with a router it would look a little bit better, but once we sand a little bit, you know, use any filler and then paint, I don't think you're going to see much difference in the final result for us in this project.
And what you're
so
seeing,
it's a lot faster as well.
What you're seeing us putting together down there is the box that'll go over where the old battery compartment was, but for us, we're going to put in an outdoor shower head there. So anyway, that's what we're working on today, and mostly it's just lots and lots of cuts, and then we'll hopefully get to the assembly part tomorrow. Good morning. It is day 2 of my spring break, and we are checking on everything in the Airstream from where we had some leaks. I don't even think we recorded
The second set
of leaks that we found. So we had a little bit of water coming in by that front window, and then we had where the logo was leaking on the side here. And so yesterday we pulled back where the logo was, and we went ahead and pulled back where the logo was in the back, and also there's another logo up by the front door, and we just went ahead and preemptively pulled all of those panels back and said we're just going to go ahead and recaulk all of those letters and logos to make sure we don't get another leak like that. So we fixed those, and then we were working on something else, and it started raining. And so after it rained, we came in to check and make sure everything had held, and all those letters and logos were good. We actually didn't even have any water coming in by the front window, which is leading us to the conclusion that we're pretty sure it's not our seal around the window. The seams of the Airstream shell panels kind of meet over that window, and so we think that the water is getting in between those panels and then running down behind our seam and then we're only seeing it at the window. I'll show you outside in a second. Anyway, so that one is coming and going, which is good in a way. That means it's a really small leak. It's not a major leak. But sorry, there's my hand. I'm so good at vlogging. Wow. Okay, there we go. I'll edit that out. Okay. So anyway, we're glad to see that that leak is coming and going, because at least that means it's not a major leak. But when we came back in to check, even though all of those spots were good, we did discover that there was a ton of water getting in over here by where we had just set the new furnace. We had not fully installed it yet. We had just kind of set it in place, and there was just like a half gallon of water pouring in right there. And we realized that what it is, I don't even know if I can show you this, is up underneath where that battery box is. This little seam right here was leaking. So it was just pouring water in. Never had trouble there before, never had water get in, and a ton of water was getting in, so we fixed that. That managed to stop it. And then the other one that we had was someone at some point in time decided to cut a little notch by where our door latches, and so that hole right there was just open to the inside of our wall, and so it was just pouring water in right there. And so we put tape as a backer, so we had something to stick the caulk to close that hole. And that's a temporary solution, but at least kept most of the water out for yesterday. So leakpocalypse continues, but if you can't tell from our attitude, we're feeling more confident, because each of these leaks is smaller than the last. Each of these leaks is more easily identifiable and more easily fixed. And so as frustrating as it is to keep hitting these roadblocks, it's been a lot easier to get past them. So that's where we are today. It is Saturday, the end of my spring break, and we are finishing up a couple of projects we've been working on all week. So the insulation is back up in the spots where we had those leaks that we had to fix. So we're going to do some spray foam on those today so that we can finally button the walls back in place. And then these are the pieces of the wheel well boxes that we've been working on all week. We spent too much time sanding them down and puttying them and getting them as even and pretty as possible, because while these are not going to be visible, they'll be inside the cabinets. They're kind of our test run for what the cabinets will look like. So we really tried to be very, very careful with them. And now we are about to assemble. So we went to Home Depot this morning and bought the wood to start building the bed. And right now we're just kind of trying to make sure everything fits the way we imagine it will based on our drawing. But generally speaking, our heads will go up on this end and then feet down this way. This front piece, the slats will attach to, and it'll be hinged at the back. So you can just grab hold of this 2x4 and lift up, and it'll lift up all the slats in the mattress, and we can get to the storage underneath. But it is very exciting. We have the beginnings of a bed. Good morning. We are back at it again on the Airstream. Jared has been working on moving forward with the woodworking, and the next step is to get a layer of paint on everything. So he's already primed the 2 wheel well boxes, the box for the outdoor shower, and all the pieces that we cut for the bed frame. We're gonna work on getting a layer of paint on everything today, and to do that, we bought a tent. We were thinking about trying to spray the paint and the overspray and bugs getting in it and just all of those factors, and we decided to just buy this little pop-up tent to make sure that we get a good finish, because while it doesn't matter as much for the stuff that we're spraying today, since it's all going to be like inside things, when we get to the cabinets, we really don't want a beautiful cabinet face to have like a fly stuck in it. So anyway, new room, new addition to the Airstream. It is going to be covered in paint on the inside, but we were talking about it and it's like, I mean, we only have 200 square feet. It wouldn't stink to have a little bit of outdoor space with some shade, so we're probably going to keep it. Good morning. We are in our last morning of my 4-day weekend for Easter, and we have painted and sanded all the pieces for the bed frame, and now we are about to clamp them in place so we can figure out what brackets we need, and then we are going to try to assemble it. The paint's going to need some touching up, but we decided to go ahead and get it in place and then touch it up while it's assembled. So that's the plan for today. Please excuse the really loud dehumidifier. Have I ever mentioned that we have a dog? This is Harry. He's a Humane Society pup. Hey, come here, bud. Say hi. Good boy. Yes, good boy. He's a knucklehead. I'll insert pictures of where he got bit by snakes recently. You gonna live in the Airstream with us? Yeah. Go on. Go. So I kept putting off finishing this vlog because I was trying to get to a good stopping point, but the truth is it's gonna be a minute before we get to a good stopping point because everything's just kind of iterative. We're never like 100% done with the project. We have to go ahead and move on and start on the next one. So here, I'll give you some examples. So we have one wheel well box painted and in place. This is the one that goes underneath the bathroom cabinet. So we painted it this dark charcoal color to blend in with the bathroom vanity. Although you really won't see pretty much any of this. You might see a little bit of it when you open the doors of the bathroom vanity, but it was a good opportunity for us to practice spraying essentially what our cabinets will be like. So we're really pleased with how that turned out. The other wheel well box is in the painting tent drying right now. It's painted teal to match the kitchen cabinets that it's going to go under. And then this is the beginning of the bed frame. So we've got kind of the outside frame that the mattress will sit on. The next step is to put together the part that has the slats and that's going to raise up with the mattress on top of it. But we didn't get that far today, but this is a really good start. We're able to get a good idea of how far back we can push it against the wall and how far out it's going to come. So to the edge of that right there, which puts us right at the outside of the window, which is where we want it to be so that we can build the wall there and put the shower in this tiny little space between the edge of the bed and the wheel well box. So that's where we are. It's not really anything that's like finished product, but a lot of progress. Any thoughts?
It's coming along. We're getting closer.
Getting closer. Next up, I don't know, whatever the next step on this is, and then maybe starting cabinets.
Kitchen cabinets.
There you go. See you next time.